Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite podcast show, Mark and Ken, with you on episode 135.
Yeah.
Second podcast of doing it over the phone.
The second podcast of lockdown.
Yeah, so any news with you yourself, Ken?
No,
Since
not
lockdown?
really.
No,
Pretty boring.
pretty boring. I think that's pretty much everybody. I did it like a group call with my friends during the week, and we were just like, I think two of them. One of them had more than likely had the coronavirus, but
Jesus.
yeah, he was in England, but unless you have respiratory problems, they weren't testing people. So he never got tested for the coronavirus, but he had a cough and a fever. So more than likely he had the coronavirus. And then another one of my friends, he got tested for the coronavirus. And he hasn't got the results back, but he's now over the coronavirus. he is fully recovered. By the time he actually, from ringing up the doctor, getting tested, or had to wait to get tested and got tested, he's never recovered, and the tests haven't come back. So like, he's in Ireland as well. So like, he was like 11 days. He was like 11 days waiting on his test results to come back, but he's shown absolutely no symptoms now, and he's been isolating for like 3 weeks. So like, not leaving their house at all. Their house being on like lockdown. So like,
he's probably okay.
Yeah, he's more likely okay. I think his doctor gave him the all clear to leave. Like, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So like, we're kind of just talking about how many people like if two of them weren't be able to get tested, and like, I don't know if you've ever got blood tested before, and you haven't got the results back. There's kind of an attitude Irish people would be grand. If it was really serious, they would contact me.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, he's just one example. But how many more people would have been like, they haven't got back to me? It's more than likely grand. They would have definitely got back to me about the coronavirus and then just left their house.
Well, like, I know of a situation where recently there was an actual nurse. She went into a shop and she had, like, she was wearing all the gloves and like she had like a mask and stuff on her. But she told the cashier, like, I got tested for coronavirus. Like, the doctor thinks like 80% certain that I have it. And it's like, why are you out of your house?
Yeah,
you're a nurse.
You're a nurse. Get into your house. Lock yourself down.
Like, why did you leave your house?
Yeah, like, you're just wondering like, what's the thought process of healthcare professionals. Like, I've heard of stories of them going from their job to Smith's because they had to pick up stuff, and you're kind of like, I know they only have a limited amount of time to shop, and they, like, if they have birthday parties or whatever reason they have to go into shops for, they have to go get food. But surely someone else in their house who's not dealing with sick people would go to either toy centres or shopping centres and pick up their groceries, or somebody would do on their behalf.
Like, even like, whatever, if they're not showing symptoms, okay, maybe, like, okay, yeah, you can go out, leave your house, go to the shop. But like, your one said she has symptoms, she got tested and she's waiting on the results, and she's out fanning about, like.
Yeah, like, the idea that like a healthcare professional would like be that negligent when they're out in public, and like, it's quite crazy. But yeah, like, I've heard a good few stories of like people just like, either they had a cough and they're like, or their kids are sick and they were like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'll just go to the shop and I'll pick up my elderly mother and bring her to the shop as well. And like, you kind of like, you have a cough, like, although like a cough might be just a cough, but like, in the like case of a pandemic where people are being told to isolate, and if they have any symptoms, definitely isolate. people are ignoring the fact that they have a symptom, and going out
Yeah.
into public. Like it's crazy. I think the idea of like someone there's the idea of like social isolating, because if you get coronavirus, like the idea what they want you to do isn't stay in your house, it's stay in a room of your house and don't leave
Yeah.
that. Like that's the idea of like isolation. So like in that into like people is like so like frightening, or so like, oh, I definitely don't want that to happen. Like if they start showing symptoms, they're kind of like, it's nothing. I definitely don't have it, because like symptoms mean that they might have to go through that kind of isolation. So people are being like extremely selfish when it comes to like
Oh yeah.
their like personal health, or and like other people's personal health as well. That's what I kind of noticed over the last few weeks. Like just like certain people that like I would know, or people that I've heard about, would have been like still going around a lot of houses, still visiting a lot of elderly people, like not just one person, but like a good few of them, going to a good few houses, and it's kind of pretty much, other than maybe their job, going about their days exactly the same, as if there's like no panic.
Oh yeah, people are crazy. Like there's, like you see queues like in shops. Like shops can only let a certain amount of people in at a time. Like, and you see people like standing and waiting in a queue for maybe 20 minutes to go into a shop, and they buy a fucking Mars bar.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, how badly do you need that Mars? Or they buy 3 items. I see people like with 3 items. Like, do you really need that? Like, I kind of understand if it's milk, because like
Yeah,
everyone knows
milk,
horror
bread,
of milk.
stuff like that.
Yeah, something that's really annoying that you kind of like, you might go out of within a week. Like most people have to go to the shops multiple times a week to buy milk. So you can
Yeah,
kind of understand people going to a small shop like a Centra or a Spar or whatever small branded shop you are. But go to like a supermarket, go to one that has a queue. Like go to a garage, go to somewhere where there isn't a queue, where you're not actually forced to stand in a queue with a load of people.
yeah.
Like
Like
it's
it's crazy. Like, or you see the same person multiple times.
Yeah, you must see that a lot. You must see like the person who's constantly going into the shops, because I know people like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you doing going into shops so many times? They're like, oh, I needed this. They're like, did you really need it, or did you just want it? Like, is it a
like
life or death?
it's really really mental. Like you'll see, I've noticed the last week, like you will see the same person 3 or 4 times in a day, all in the space of like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah,
And
like,
it's like, why not just get everything the fucking first time?
yeah, whatever about just going in multiple times a week, but going in multiple times a day, it's like, it is really crazy.
Yeah, like you're just putting everybody at risk.
Yeah, no, it's like I can't understand it. Like people who like generally don't give a fuck generally do end up catching COVID-19. We know this with
Oh
Boris
yeah,
Johnson.
yeah,
We were slagging him last week about like how he was shaking hands with fucking coronavirus patients, and guess what? He
yeah,
has the coronavirus now. So like, you think like people would take like what happened to him a little bit more seriously about like their overall health, because people are generally washing their hands and are trying to keep social distance, but they're still going out in public. And
yeah,
I think that message has been lost, that okay, we've went past the social distance thing, we now have to go one step further and try to self isolate ourselves, everybody. So like, I really think that message hasn't landed with people.
yeah. Like people again, like in shops and stuff, you'll see people in the queue
Mm.
are keeping distance. So like people outside queuing to go into the shop are keeping like at least a meter between each other.
Yeah.
People that are in the queue at the checkout for the shop, the staff are making them keep at least a meter in between each other. But when they're walking around the shelves, they're walking within 6 inches of people.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I know I can understand like navigating yourself around a shop sometimes, especially smaller shops, maybe not like larger supermarkets, but smaller shops, yeah, it is definitely hard, because maybe you want to get bread and someone's standing at the bread thing, and it's kind of like they're just staring at they're like, they're not, there's no sign of movement off them, they're just they're there in a world of their own, but like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? And you're just kind of like, oh, let's really just want to get bread and get the fuck out of here. You're like, let's take this and walk away. So I can kind of like walking through the aisles. You kind of do have to sometimes navigate around people. I personally think the police would be doing like a little bit stronger clampdown because I haven't I've been driving since I have to drive around for work. Like I haven't came up to any checkpoints where guards have been asking me any questions, and I drive all around Dublin and Naas, and I haven't had to explain why I'm out, and I'm like I've seen definitely less traffic, but not none.
I think though, the commissioner was saying that they're giving it a couple of days for people to get used to the idea before they start strongly enforcing it.
All right, well that makes sense. Because I remember I was talking to one of the guys, and he's like 20 to 6 in the morning. There was guards in like near Naas at a footbridge just patrolling, but they weren't really stopping anybody. They're just like patrolling.
My boss got stopped in. He lives in Portlaoise.
Yeah.
And he got stopped just walking down to the local shop. Like the guard stopped him and was like, "Where are you going? What are you going for? How long will you be?
Yeah.
Do you know you have to be back in your house, whatever, in an hour or whatever?" And
you have to be back in your house within an hour. I was like, okay. That seems a bit harsh, but alright.
Yeah, like, you know, maybe it wasn't an hour. Like, you'd be back in your house like within a certain time frame.
Yeah, they see you walking around like in 2 or 3 hours, still walk around. I'm still going to the shops. They'll probably say, yeah. So yeah, I think people are starting. The message is sinking true because there are like, just judging by like a lot of stories I got this week, there are a lot of people doing really odd things in their house. So I think we'll probably start off with that. So the first story I've definitely thought about myself. Now, a lot of barbers and hairdressers have come out to say don't do this, and this is people attempting to cut their own hair at their houses. So I don't know.
I do that anyway.
Yeah, you were saying last week or the week before last that you cut your hair anyway. So what exactly do you do? Do you just go a certain razor all over, or do you?
Like, I've got like a mohawk, so I just get 2 mirrors and a fucking razor, and off you go.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, the easiest one to do is the mohawk because it's basically just shaving the 2 sides of your head completely off, and then the back might be a little bit trickier. So that's like if you are to cut your hair at your own house, a mohawk is probably the haircut to go with. This is how much I thought about it. So I was like, if I am, because I'm not going to be able to do my usual haircut. Like I'm just going to shave a mohawk. Surely, how hard can it be? Now I haven't actually got that desperate enough where I am willing to cut my own hair into a mohawk. But definitely, people are starting to go back to old traditional ways of cutting your hair at your own house because you're a child of like I guess the late 80s, 90s, like myself. So you more than likely at some point had your mom cut your hair. No,
I don't. Not that I remember.
I thought it was a rite of passage in Ireland where like. Your mother had got this razor set. There must have been a sale at some point in like the late 90s, maybe early 90s, where there was a sale on electric razors and people were trying to save money, and the dad and the sons were all sat down and the bowl was taken out and you're given a bowl style haircut.
Like I remember, like I used to go to the barber all right, but like he used to still come out with kind of a bowl cut.
Yeah, exactly. The bowl haircut is starting to come back because of the coronavirus, it seems. Because people are getting really, really desperate. And in order to get that straight line cut around the hairline, so if you want kind of a difference of what's on top to what's on bottom, they are once again, resorting to the favourite bowl technique and cutting their hair using a bowl. So you see a lot of people on there, a lot of the butchers of people trying to cut their hair is of people with bowl haircuts. Now I remember when we did it as kids, like there must have been a lip in my in my bowl, because at some point at some point a V disappears into my hair and goes back down. If any like pictures of me with a kid, there's this little dump where there's like a lip in the bowl.
Was it a cracked bowl by any chance?
Maybe it was a cracked bowl. Well, people are now once again resorting to the favorite 90s bowl haircut. There's a lot of pictures as well of people just missing lumps of hair, and I think I have a sister who attempted to cut her boyfriend's hair. That now, in fairness, the pictures, his haircut isn't as lumpy as some of them online. I think maybe we'll actually post them on our Facebook page.
I cut my dad's hair there just before lockdown.
Did you give him a mohawk?
No, like properly cut his hair. Like,
all right.
It's not really that hard.
Yeah, I think the biggest ones are when lads try to do fades.
Yeah. Although Dara's girlfriend cut his hair.
Oh yeah, and what's it like?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not like it'll have to do for now. Like see, I had long hair before, so like
it won't bother you.
It doesn't bother me too much. Like I'll probably like the whole growing out process is probably the most annoying of it. It's because like you have to wait till the sides has to catch up with the top.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty uneven. But in terms of like how to manage long hair, like I've been managing long hair since I was like a teenager, so it's not too bad. But like I was very, very tempted just to like go down the mohawk route and have this like longish mohawk, just leave the top alone.
Just shave your head.
Shave my head. I was actually thinking, I was like, do you know what? Like, there's a possibility of fucking up the mohawk. There's not too bad of an idea if I just shave my hair and just go like a one all over. Like that could work. Like, but I don't know. Right now I'm gonna sit tight. The professional advice, we should say, is not to cut your own hair. It's to wait till hairdressers reopen and barbers reopen and get it done professionally, because apparently you make the job 10 times worse when you attempted to cut your own hair. I don't know why though.
If people do cut their own hair, send in the photos.
Oh yeah, please do send in photos, because we're probably going to post people's attempts, maybe as a warning not to do it. But like Ken is a pretty advocate for like cutting your hair. He's like, yeah, definitely cut your hair. I do it all the time. Do a mohawk. Great. See, like I think the mohawk is the way to go if you are to cut your own hair. It's the easiest haircut, other than one all over. Unless you're just going one all over. Mohawk, just shave the sides and then sort out the back yourself.
It's very low maintenance.
The mullet also, because like the mullet, you don't have to address the back. It's business at the front.
Just cut the front and the sides.
Yeah, you just gotta trim your fringe, fucking shave the sides, bing bang bomb, you're done. There's a lot like there's an Australian mullet. A lot of people, you often see a lot of Australians actually when I was there were like going around with the mullet themselves. So like that's over there, that's a thing. But I definitely, I don't know about the mullet. I think if I do get really bad, I may wait till like mid April and see what state my hair's in before I decide to go mohawk or no mohawk. We should do a poll.
Cause do a poll. What haircut should Mark get?
Should Mark do mohawk? A poll would be pretty bad, because I'm pretty sure everybody just wants to see a car crash. And everyone just wants to see me look ridiculous. So maybe opening that to our audience wouldn't be the best idea.
We might do it anyway.
Might do it, yeah. Stick up, see what happens. Yeah, but the other thing that one guy did, Garrett Allen, and he wants to run 1,200-mile races in 2020. So this coronavirus is probably going to set him back, because more than likely people are kind of saying June might be the earliest that this is going to be over. Like June's going to be but that's the earliest stage that they think the lockdowns might start to lift or a little bit ease anyway.
Yeah.
So if he wants to get in 12 100-mile marathons, unless he wants to do 2 a month, that's gonna be quite hard. He probably was originally, when this started out, he probably was originally gonna try to do 1 a month, but now he's probably gonna have to double it up depending on how long we're in lockdown for. And so basically, he wants to keep his training up anyway. So there's there is a lockdown in place, and some people are choosing to obey it, and he must be one of them, because he isn't actually going outside his house in order to do his marathon training. He is doing it at home. He is running around his garden, and he didn't only just complete a marathon, he completed an ultra marathon.
Do you know what's an ultra marathon?
So a marathon is about 26 miles. An ultra marathon is 30.8 miles, or 30 miles anyway. But I think he ran 30.8 miles around his back garden.
That's pretty. What, does he have a big garden?
No, not a 30-mile garden anyway. His each lap was about 130 feet. So
130 feet.
Yeah. So that kind of give you an idea of, like, it would be a pretty small garden. It'd be pretty average.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, pretty average size garden. So in order to do like just a regular 26-mile marathon, he would have had to run 1,064 laps around his garden. But no, he went past that. He decided to do 1,256 miles or laps. Sorry, of his garden.
That's a fucking tiny garden.
Like, his family must be just kind of look at him like, is he actually going to do a few laps? He said he had to kind of change direction every 100 laps. So every 100 laps, he just run the opposite way around it. So
he probably wore a path out with it, or like around the garden.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Like, fucking hell.
But surely, like, he could navigate a 2-kilometer run that leads him back to his house.
Yeah.
And just do that like 15 times.
Yeah.
And that'd be his 30 kilometers.
Rather than running around his garden.
Yeah, I don't know how many laps he can do of 2 kilometers, because he can only go around 2 kilometers. But now that you're saying that there might be a time limit on how long you're outside, like if the guards see you out exercising, they might stop you and say, where are you off to? And you're like, I'm just going for a 2-kilometer run.
Yeah, I don't know what way they'll enforce it, like.
Yeah, like, I also think of like how bad it gets. So like, I think as we talked about this yesterday, seen the highest number of deaths. I think it was 30 something deaths in the country. So like the death toll is starting to rise. So we are probably going to see over the next while. And like before, when we got like 20 odd people who were confirmed cases, we were like, oh god, that's loads. Now we're getting like 200, 290, 300 cases a day, and we're like, that's normal. It's not phasing us anymore. So we're kind of getting used to numbers spiking, which is probably not a good thing. So if it starts, I think there's like 100 people right now, or as we record this, there's 100 people in intensive care. So they're saying like, by the end of next week, that's when it's going to, if it keeps rising, then that's when they're going to hit the limit of respirators.
Yeah.
I did see a story, actually. I didn't actually put down in my notes, but Formula 1 team Mercedes have developed...
they've started making ventilators.
Yeah, they've actually... something about like Formula 1, they love anagrams. So like, it's not called a ventilator. It's like a positive airway something. It's like I think it's like PAP something, like some weird word like that. I think it's like positive airway something apparatus. It's them and Royal College of London, or some college in London. are getting together to make this kind of breeding apparatus. But they'd be kind of like, in terms of Formula One, like that's one of the other few sports that I actually follow. But in terms of like them turning, like them going from a prototype to like something that can be actually made for a car, it's done within the space of sometimes 2 weeks. Like sometimes, because a race will take about 2 weeks in between races, because they have to ship everything across to the next country they're going in. So like teams operate at extremely high pace in Formula One to like make like just small tiny adjustments to like air wings. So for them to make like ventilators, probably like something really really easy for them. Like it wouldn't be that hard to engineer and manufacture and get it out in terms of like design that they could use in hospitals. So like I'm not surprised that Formula One have been drafted in. I think Ford in America has been drafted in to make ventilators. Yeah, so like,
and they've brought in like whiskey and gin companies to make hand sanitizer.
oh yeah, Guinnesses and gin companies have been brought in to make the alcohol for hand sanitizer. So it needs about 65% of alcohol needs to be in it. And a lot of hand sanitizers that you buy in shops actually don't have enough alcohol in it. Most of them have about 60%, or some only has even less, as like 40% or 30% alcohol in it. And it needs to be 65% in order to actually be used any great effect. So another thing people are doing, they have these shitty bottles of hand sanitizers that actually probably don't have enough like alcohol in it.
Yeah, they don't work.
Yeah. So
Aileen started making her own.
Yeah? Does she have like absinthe or like vodka or gin?
She has like where she works, they have like 98% rubbing alcohol.
All right, that'd be really strong.
So it's just like, just using that and a bit of aloe vera.
Bit of aloe vera. What does aloe vera do?
It takes away the harshness. Like I was using just the alcohol, the pure alcohol in my hands, and it was burning the fuck out of them.
Yeah, that dry your hands out like.
So you put in a little bit of aloe vera, it dilutes it a little bit and makes it less harsh.
Yeah. Another story that I have got is Gary Lineker. You might know the guy. He's a former footballer of some sort. I don't know.
He's the face of Walkers.
Face of Walkers, yeah. But I think he used to be a keeper. But yeah, before his face of Walkers, he was a footballer, and now I think he's probably just as well known as the face of Walkers. But his son started to show symptoms of having the coronavirus, so him and his family have been in lockdown pretty much since then. And his son heard about this challenge that's going around the internet, where you apparently drink a load of vinegar and people and videotape yourself so people can see you throw up. Now his son,
fuck's sake,
probably had nothing better to do and decided, oh, I'm going to down a jug of vinegar, and not only that, I'm going to also use some lemon juice as well. So use a good bit of lemon juice as well, and just knock back like a good glass of vinegar, and which was sweetened, I guess, with lemon juice as well.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, one of the reasons why his son was probably able to do this without gagging and throwing up all over the place was one of the symptoms of having the coronavirus is you lose a sense of taste and smell. And he's currently has, for the last few weeks, have lost his sense of taste and smell. So he decided to put it to good use and attempt this vinegar challenge. So basically, it's on his. If people want to go, his name is George. So if you do George Lineker, you'll get the son's name, or I'm pretty sure his dad probably retweeted him, and you can watch him down this like disgusting vinegar drink. So I don't know. I know in the past we have done a few internet challenges. I don't think either of us are going to be doing the vinegar one.
No, not at all.
One actually really interesting one that this could be one that we could try to get people to do. because one, it's not dangerous to people's health, and you probably shouldn't drink a load of vinegar. I don't think it necessarily you would do anything like damaging long term or short term to you, other than like maybe give you like make you really acidic, like, and you might need like motilium or something like that, or whatever you take for acid buildup in your stomach. But one thing we could do is if people try to get a jam donut, right, and they have to eat the entire jam donut without licking their lips. It is incredibly hard. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it is. Like, you work in the shop, get yourself a donut for your break, and see if you can eat a jam donut without licking your lips.
What if there's no sugar in it?
You're kind of cheating then. But if it has like that powder stuff, then I'm pretty sure that's just as bad. But obviously, yeah, the ones where it has sugar all over it and jam in the middle, so it's the ones that like are. That's the challenge. That's the idea of doing
it. might try that.
Yeah, try it and videotape yourself. It'll probably be the worst video ever. Like, people don't like. I genuinely think people don't like hearing or watching people eat. So maybe we could put up just to annoy some of our viewers. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what.
Doesn't Flash love watching and hearing people eat?
Flash?
Yeah.
Why does he have is he kind of one of these people who have problems with people eating? I don't know.
Yeah. He fucking hates hearing people eat.
I hate hearing people eat. Well, I hate. Sometimes I piss myself off hearing myself eat. That's how much I hate hearing people eat. Like I know loads of people who are loud eaters, and like I have to leave the room. It's like I get so agitated.
Why? Like what is it?
I don't know. It's, you know, the slurping sound. It's that sounds like. Do you have to breathe like that? Is it really giving you that much pleasure, the soup? And sometimes I'm saying that like why am I making that noise? Why am I going? So I don't know. It's something about it. It's like it's that slush. I think it's like it's bred in, like, chewing your mouth open or talking your mouth open with food in it. It's like bred to you that it's bad manners.
Yeah.
So like I think it's the fact that it's bad manners, and then it's just like it kind of annoys me. It's just those two things. Are like, first of all, you're doing something that's rude, and then second of all, you're doing something that annoys me. So I can socially call you out on it because of the rudeness, and but really it's just, I don't know. It's something that, I don't know. It's weird. It just pisses me off for some reason. Yeah, like why have you like been eating like a sandwich and like Flash been like, what? Yeah.
No, I just remember, like, well, he said it before, and remember we went to like a Pizzaria Christmas party, and he couldn't hack it at all. He was like, there's too many people, like, you know, chewing with their mouths open and stuff. He's like, fucking stop.
Oh, generally if I'm like at a dinner or if I'm at like something like that, like I'm not that bad where, like if it's in a loudish room, like the noise of the room kind of drowns out people eating.
Yeah.
I've never had that problem. I've never been around like a group of people where I'm sure if everyone was like talking with their mouth full and chewing really, really loudly, like I'd probably have to leave. Like I'd probably be on the same boat. But generally, when I'm been out with like friends or I've been out with like with groups of people, I haven't been around a load of loud eaters. Like, thankfully, so like I've never had that problem before. But yeah, have like sitting in a like quiet room with someone who's like loud eating or loud typing. Have you ever been in a room with someone who slams the keyboards?
No.
Oh my god! Like I don't know how many keyboards they go through in it like a year, but it must be like 6. It must be like 6 keyboards, and they're like slamming their fingers in it. Oh, nearly like knocked over my microphone. And yeah, they slam it in, and I remember when there's one person I can particularly, I won't say where, just in case anyone's listening, but they chew chewing gum while slamming their fingers into a keyboard really loudly. So they chew chewing gum really loudly and slam their keyboard. Like, it would drive me. Like, I never actually said that to them, but like, I would be like biting like my teeth. I'd be like, oh my god, I have to leave. I have to get out of here. So yeah, that I would be would be probably one of those people would be annoyed easily of loud eaters, loud typers, as well as people talking. I'm generally not very social. Yeah, so actually talking about Gary Lineker and Walker's Crisps, we actually have a story about Walker's Crisps.
Yeah. So like, you know, every few years Walkers bring out like new flavors and shit.
Yeah.
So they're bringing out, I think, 3 new flavors at the minute. One of them's like pizza, and the one that you might be most interested in is Nando's peri peri flavor.
Oh yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, so that's what Walkers are doing.
Like, I wouldn't mind Cajun like crisps. I don't know if there is any Cajun crisps, but something like that might be nice. Like, if cheese and onion came out now, if no one ever had cheese and onion, and Teo Crisps announced that they have new flavored cheese and onion, I'm pretty sure everybody would be like, I hate cheese and I hate onions. Why the fuck would I eat cheese and onions? So sometimes, like, the taste of things might match what they actually are. Like, salt and vinegar seems like the most bitterest thing you could eat in the world, and they're like most people's favorite. And like, I've never actually had smoky bacon, but smoky bacon crisps are amazing.
Smoky bacon's amazing.
I've never had smoky bacon.
Mark. Have you never had like hickory bacon or something like that?
No. What's hickory? No.
Usually they're like, it's like hickory smoked. Like, it's. Have you only ever had like non-flavored bacon? Like,
I've had maple rashers.
Yeah, well, no, they're probably coated in maple.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, get yourself some fucking smoked rashers.
Smoked rashers? I had smoked fish. Smoked fish is quite nice.
Yeah, smoked rashers is like rashers, but smoky.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so it's like yeah. All right, I'll try to look out for them when I'm like socially distancing myself in shops from people.
Once nobody's standing in front of the rasher section for too long.
Yeah. So what again is the new flavor?
There's Nando's peri peri, and there's like American hot chili pizza.
American hot chili pizza. My friend did tell me about a new energy drink that's like super American, super pro America, and it's called Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, it's Boom.
That just sounds so American.
Yeah, no, they have all their like, I think one of their flavors like Freedom.
Oh, okay.
And then and like there's like, I don't know the actually exact flavors, but like they're like super American like titles. They're like Freedom and then other like probably Eagle or something crazy like that. But yeah, I don't know if they're doing it ironically or if they're like they don't want no Thai drinks or no fucking whoever Monster's made. They want America. No, one of the flavors is American cream soda, which like is delicious anyway. So that and energy.
Fucking disgusting.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
It's disgusting.
American cream soda is amazing.
It's rotten.
Oh, okay, then.
I'm like the only person in my family that hates that fucking thing.
I'm pretty sure you're the only body in the world that hates American cream soda.
Oh, it's sick. Like, it leaves this weird, horrible aftertaste. It's disgusting.
But the initial taste is amazing.
I just won't be into it.
Yeah, so like in terms of like the American pizza thing is kind of weird. I never even know there was an American style pizza.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just cultural appropriation right there. I'm pretty sure there's Italians. Well, Italians already don't like pineapple on pizza, but
Yeah, and most Italians don't usually use like a tomato sauce on the base either.
Yeah, I was in Italy, and there was either I wouldn't say tomato paste, but yeah, they prefer.
It depends where you're going. If it's like a tourist based area, you'll get like your pizza like the way you know it here. But
Yeah,
if you go to like somewhere where tourists don't generally go, pizzas are made totally different.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of oil.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil. When I was in America, when I was in New York, I actually kind of preferred their pizza to the one that I actually had when I was in Italy. So I'm just going to throw that out there. That's definitely going to piss off a lot of Italians.
Yeah,
They're already suffering right now, and they now just here in the Shite
yeah.
podcast show
You're
that
adding insult to injury right now.
that New York does better pizza. I think I liked it more because it was just more greasier.
Yeah,
So like that definitely helped.
yeah. Irish people love grease.
Yeah, exactly. That might help the insults. Like, but I noticed Italy, they don't like. They always like to taste the food for what it is.
Yeah,
So they don't like, for instance, they don't season steaks. They just have it like they don't salt and pepper it before they cook it. They just have it the way it is. They do like olive oil, but they kind of like it's all about the flavor of the things you're eating. It's like when I came back from it, I was kind of like, because I'd put like I make garlic butter and then I rub it onto the steak and then I cook the steak in the garlic butter.
yeah.
And then I'd like get like maybe a sauce and then have it with sauce and like, am I actually even tasting anything to do with the meat, or is it just all the garlic and the mayonnaise style sauce that I'm having with it? So you kind of open your eyes like, are we in Ireland actually even tasting any of the food? Like our mashed potatoes, we pour milk and butter on them,
And cream.
well, milk and butter anyway, but to make like creamy mash.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
like all our food is heavily seasoned. We don't actually taste. Another thing, one of your stories was an odd car chase.
Yeah. Where was it? Washington.
Yeah,
So like Washington State Troopers start chasing this car. The car was doing 100 mile an hour, which is about 160 kilometers, and they're chasing this thing for ages, and it was like driving recklessly, and it crashed into a few things and like drove off and stuff. So they had to use like spike strips to end the car chase.
yeah,
And the weird thing that makes it an odd car chase was that one of the reasons the cops kind of spotted that the car was a bit weird, and ultimately decided to like obviously chase it, was there was a pit bull driving it.
Pitbull.
Yeah, the car was being driven by a pit bull.
How did they reach the pedals and hold the steering wheel?
Yeah, so there was a pit bull in the driving seat, and there was a man in the passenger seat. And the man in the passenger seat told the police that he was teaching his dog how to drive.
Okay.
Right, so obviously he got arrested. Like he got
Yeah.
arrested. He was charged with like reckless endangerment, hit and run. He was drunk as well, so he was arrested with like done for DUI and felony eluding. And the poor old pit bull got sent to the animal shelter.
Oh well, animal shelter probably was the best thing for it. Like, I don't know how safe that animal was in care of like your man. I don't think like he's gonna be locked in a cage and allowed an hour out to walk around the fucking yard. Like, I don't think it's doggy prison.
But like one of the cops that were like talking about it afterwards, and like he said, he spotted a pit bull driving a car. That's what first caught his attention.
How far did the pit bull get down the road before the cops like had to pull him over?
It didn't say. It just said that they were like doing it. It was like a chase that was like over 100 miles an hour, and they had to use like a spike strip to end the car chase.
All right, so if they're getting that speed, it would have had to been on a pretty straight road, you would imagine.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Like,
I still don't know how your man got the dog to keep his foot on the accelerator,
yeah,
unless he had the accelerator just jammed down.
I don't know, like, but like that's just fucking mad. Like, imagine,
I wonder if he'll protest in court for the DUI.
imagine seeing a pit bull driving a car.
I could imagine they're surprised, but like, I wonder if he will actually like challenge the DUI, because I'd be like, I wasn't driving it. It was my dog.
The dog was driving.
Like, I was in the passenger seat. Like, how are you doing me for this? I'd definitely challenge that. Like, I wasn't actually driving the car. Like that like I shouldn't be done for DUI. I don't know if like, I still have like huge questions though, like how the car didn't just veer off. Like, surely your man must have been either some way controlling the steering wheel. So if you're traveling like 100 miles an hour and you're not holding that steering wheel, the car is going to start drifting off. So like,
well, they did say that the car did hit quite a bit of stuff
at 100 miles an hour as a build up speed.
Unsure of that. Sure, 100 miles an hour would have flipped or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what was going through his head that he's like, I'm going to get the dog to drive the car?
I have no idea. Yeah, like like there's many things like that would have to go wrong in your day to the point where you're thinking. I wonder if he's just like he went out for messages, decided to go to a bar or buy drink, get really drunk. Oh shit! How am I going to get home? Oh, well, maybe I'll get my dog to drive.
Yeah, he looks at the dog and he's like, "You can drive, right?"
Yeah, you can drive. Like, I can teach you to drive. Like, it's easy. And like, then before he knew, he was in the car with the dog in the passenger seat.
The dog was the designated driver.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it kind of does. It kind of does. Yeah, it kind of does beg the question of like, what the fuck is like? Is this a recent like story, or is this happening like? It must have happened a few weeks ago, because like everything is in lockdown. You imagine.
It was only like it was posted a couple of days ago, so I don't know how old it was.
Yeah, well, like, things in America, I don't know like how locked down things in America is, and I know like some places are like not taking it as seriously as others. New York, pretty bad. I don't know what the South's like. This does sound like a story that comes from the South rather than like something like California.
It was Washington.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah,
it's even worse. It's weird. I don't know how bad it is in Washington, but I imagine it's a built up area anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's super odd. Another odd story that came up was Netflix fake posters this has happened in,
I think it's like Thailand.
Yeah.
They're like to try and make people stay inside, like students from local colleges and schools are putting up posters for Netflix that look real, but they totally spoil the series to try and stop you from going outside.
See, like, if someone spoiled a series on me, I generally wouldn't watch it. Well, wouldn't that do the opposite? Wouldn't that make people go outside rather than go, ooh, I have to watch this to the end?
But say you're like, say it's a series that's got like 2 or 3 seasons in it.
Yeah.
And you're like halfway through the second season. And then you're like, oh, there's a poster up like fucking just around the corner that tells the ending of the thing. Oh, I'm not going to go out now until I watch the rest of the series.
Oh, yeah. I get. Yeah. So if they're out in public, the series will be ruined.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you've already started
yeah.
watching it or whatever. Like.
Yeah. Like if that said like Brendan Stark becomes the king of the Seven Kingdoms at the end of like Game of Thrones, like
well, that's ruined.
Yeah. Like if that was on a poster and you left your house, you're like, it has to be wrong. Just started Game of Thrones. Guaranteed there will be someone out there going, oh, I was going to watch it.
Yeah. There always is.
There is always that person. Well, I'm getting around to
it. It's on my list of to-do things.
Yeah, I actually have a to watch list, and you think like this time would have been a pretty good time to get through this list.
Yeah.
It hasn't. I have literally still on episode 1 of Breaking Bad.
Have you not watched Breaking Bad?
No, it's on my list.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I've started it. Like before I went to Australia, I started it.
Oh, watch Breaking Bad.
I am. It's like literally this series that I'm watching right now.
Yeah, like watch the whole
I'm gonna watch episode 2 at some point this week.
And then follow it like swiftly up with episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I have like 5 series to get to, so like that'll do me, and then I might move on to like Mad Men. I hear that's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't watched that.
I'd like to watch Vikings as well. I hear that's pretty good.
Vikings is pretty good. I gave up after 4 seasons though.
Narcos, I also want to get into. I hear that.
I haven't watched that.
Yeah.
I keep meaning to kind of try rewatch Gotham.
No.
Yeah, I watched like 4 episodes and I was like, this is kind of shite.
In the words of George R.R. Martin, that's not my Batman. The series is dead to me.
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, we're watching talking about TV series. One that like I've watched 1 episode of and you haven't watched before, but it's very super popular. So I think we probably should talk about it. It's Tiger King.
Go ahead. Yeah, fire away.
So like Tiger King, for people who don't know, is a series about a man who owns something like 180 tigers, and he's gay and very, very, very eccentric as well. And I think he only has like 1 leg. I've only watched 1 episode. I'm pretty sure he only has 1 leg. He got bitten off by a tiger, but the show has like a murder plot. So I think he's in jail for trying to hire someone to murder people.
Yeah.
There's a 3-way gay marriage. There's a Walmart truck that is full of rotten meat that's being served to the tigers as well as the visitors to the zoos.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, so like but this thing has absolutely taken off. Like it was the most watched thing in Ireland on Netflix there last week, and probably will be this week as well. It's like if you can't go on to social media without seeing about Tiger King, so a lot of people are watching this series.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, your man who Joe Exotic, the guy who's like the main character in it, he ran for governor of I think it was, where is it based? Oklahoma.
Yeah, he also ran for president in 2016.
Yeah, so like he lowered his bar back in 2018 to governor, and one of his big marketing tools that he did was he had these rollies that had his name, aka Joe Exotic, and then I say governor for 2018, and he was giving them out as a kind of a promotional tool during his campaign. Now, obviously, people who are going to watch the series or have just heard what we just said, he's currently like in prison for trying to hire someone to murder someone. So multiple people to try murder, as well as like a load of other kind of felonies as well. So his rollies, his cigarette rollies that he had on campaign, it recently went up for auction on eBay. And now sellers are getting up to $69 for these rollers. This is what the price at. So $69 or £56, or would it be roughly about 60? It would probably be 65 euros, roughly enough for it.
For fuck's sake! Like who spends money on this shit?
I don't like. I'm pretty sure if you did smoke and you're a fan of the series, the novelty of having rollies with his face on it would be quite good. But the idea of something like this is like you'd have them, and you go out to a pub and you like showing people in the pub. There's no pubs open.
Yeah,
don't show off your fancy fucking cigarette papers. Yeah, apparently it says in the notes here he's for attempted murder and 17 other crimes.
Jesus.
Yeah, so
Are some of them like fashion crimes?
Yeah, no, in fairness, like he has his very questionable tattoos, like
a haircut that he done at home.
Yeah, exactly, a haircut that looks like something he got while self-isolating yourself, and yeah, so like I don't know, but like I don't know if people, because I know in terms of online shopping has during the coronavirus has went up, so a lot of online chains would say that their sales have like increased in terms of like just people bored and they're like, oh, let's buy new clothes, make myself feel better. And yeah, so like I don't know if someone would splash out on like, maybe you're drunk, you're at home, you're on eBay and you're like with like a bottle of gin, and you're like, £69 for Dave, that's a bargain. You'll pay for it. But like, yeah, so I don't know if it was on an auction, so he's hoping to get more for or what. But if you do smoke and you do want a Joe Exotic Rollies, there you go. You now have the perfect place to go buy them. Now,
sorted.
Yeah, so like I would say, like in terms of getting them, they would be quite rare to get. Imagine like either people probably either smoked them like 2018. They still have them is quite weird.
Definitely quite weird.
Yeah, so I think we'll go on to our final story, because we're running a little bit short on time, is Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. So this was originally one of the fights that were meant to be cancelled due to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And UFC, Dana White, his attitude towards the coronavirus has been like, it's not going to stop us putting on our shows. And they went ahead with Brazil without an audience, and they were attempted to do one with Tyron Woodley that was in London, but with cancellation of all big sporting events in England meant that they weren't able to get it. And I think some fighters had actually began to travel over to England in order to get their training camp over there and were left stranded in order to get out when the fight was cancelled.
Yeah.
So like that was a big kind of black eye for the UFC. But the UFC basically decided that we're going to take advice of the president, and we're going to abide by the measures. Now, the American official thing in terms of social gatherings is no more than 10 people. Now, there has been some events like pro wrestling where we're able to stage pro wrestling matches. Now, I don't know what kind of criteria they went under in order to try to get their wrestling matches through.
I think they were putting they filled up the crowd with wrestlers who weren't performing.
Oh yeah, well that could have happened, but like in terms of if they have a gathering of more than 10 people, so like if you have a cameraman, let's say you have two guys on announcing and a ring announcer, by the time like you get out to the ring for anyone, there's about 4 or 5 people already out there. Like if you have a let's say tag team match, you'd be just like in that room alone, there'd be near enough 10 people. And not mention all the people backstage, like the makeup artists, the hairdressers, the wrestlers themselves, the staff, the people running the the fucking cameras, deciding what camera to go on it, as well as the scriptwriters and producers of the show.
Yeah.
So there'd be easily about 30 people backstage, like on a regular, just not including the audience. There'd be about 30, 40 people backstage alone. So they'd be breaking the guidelines of a social gathering of 10 people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're getting away with it. So maybe they are able to put on shows. The UFC might be able to put on a show if they are able to do whatever pro wrestling is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Khabib obviously lives in Russia.
Yeah, he's kind of stuck there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no flights out of Russia, or even getting from Russia to America would be, it's difficult at best times, but in terms of right now, I'd be near enough impossible without going to Europe for some point, and even getting out from Europe to America, there are no flights to
it's impossible.
yeah, that's impossible. So I don't know. UFC probably would have to get like a private jet in order to get Khabib out of the country.
Even then, I don't know if that would even work. Like, is there airports in America still operating?
Yeah, there will be certain amount of flights, especially local flights as well. So there would be airports open. All airports would stay open for stuff to be delivered by cargo. So like lots of stuff that like for, let's say, ventilators or for medical thing are all being flown in because it's quicker. So like I think Aer Lingus went off with a flight there to get medical supplies and bring it back because shipping it out would take so much longer.
Yeah, I don't know if they would allow like a private jet to fly in though.
Yeah, see, like I think this is the problem. Was I don't know if Khabib first wants to leave his house, wants to go to Russia, wants to do this fight because he doesn't want to put his team or anyone like that under pressure. Plus, he wouldn't be really able to train.
Yeah.
See, he lives at home with his parents, and not knowing his parents' like medical history, I'd imagine they'd be pretty old, and he probably doesn't want to put them at risk in terms of like catching coronavirus. So I imagine he's maybe not training. Imagine even Tony Ferguson. I was finding I know there are certain people still training like in the US. I often see some people still putting up training photos. Like Gordon Ryan recently enough put up a training photo.
Yeah.
And like lost 1,000 viewers, 1,000 followers.
Yeah, same thing happened to Tom DeBlass.
Yeah. Well, do you know, Tom Blast annoys me at the best of times. He's been very, very close to like not getting unfollowed. I kind of still follow him, but some of his posts can be a bit hard.
It's the same with Gordon though. Like sometimes you're kind of like, oh, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, like I found recently enough, I've been very, very tempted just to unfollow him. He's like,
I had to unfollow Eddie Bravo. I was like, seriously, just fuck off.
Oh yeah. He's another person that's like, just like all his kind of conspiracy shit that he puts up.
Yeah,
kind of
like,
pisses me off.
Stop.
Yeah. I know a lot of people. If you just look at all the comments, a lot of people are like, "Seriously, you need to stop this shit."
Yeah, Mike Bisping's mounting at him at the minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you go into like his latest post, Bisping's like, what did he say? He said, "Shut up" or something, like, just stop.
See, like Eddie Bravo, he has such a big following right now, and I don't really think he realizes maybe the social pressure of like what he says. Some people, because of his position he is in as defender of like 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu,
yeah,
a lot of people take his word as gospel, and a lot of people go ahead of what his stuff. Like I'd say he is definitely in one of the causes for the flat Earth gathering so much movement.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's one of the prime like promoters of the flat Earth. So like, like when he starts talking about like conspiracy theories, people start taking his advice. If he starts denying maybe the seriousness of certain diseases or stuff like this, that could be very, very deadly. And I don't think he realizes the pressure that like of giving the bad information in a pandemic could do. People will take his post seriously, go by his advice. Like Gordon Ryan was posting a lot of photos of people still training, like after he put up his, because Instagram took his down. Like
that's just fucking silly. Like
yeah, exactly. Like if you got like paint and you put on paint on yourself, and you went into a jiu-jitsu class and just watch where that paint then goes.
Oh, it'll go fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. Places you didn't even realize you were, there'd be paint.
Yeah.
There'd be paint on the walls. And you'd be like, I wasn't at the walls.
Yeah, like just everywhere.
Yeah, so like, and that'll just show you, like, what basically what you're moving, so how close contact jiu-jitsu is, like, and like, the kind of, the fact that like, people don't even know that they have it for 14 days, or they mightn't show symptoms, or they could be asymptomatic.
Yeah.
As
and like even people that you didn't like, say there's like 30 people in the building, and you only roll with 10 of them, but like those 10 could have rolled with another 20. Like you have passed your shit onto one person who's passed on to another person that you might have had contact with that day.
Yeah, but like, let's say the average person's circle right now is 10.
Yeah.
5 people is 50 people that's in general contact then.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, so like I think, and the fact that people were giving them so much shit about it, then he just like doubled down on it. It's kind of pissed me off. But I think Tony Ferguson, I haven't seen too much he's definitely down to fight, and it's just about finding an opponent for Tony Ferguson. So what do you think Tony Ferguson? What do you think? Will Tony Ferguson? Well, obviously, if he's down for the fight, but like, what do you think the best opponent for Tony Ferguson, or if this fight should go ahead?
I think they should just wait. Just like do what Bellator did and just cancel it. Cancel everything until this is done. Like, but they're probably going to go ahead with Justin Gaethje.
I imagine the best thing for them to do, like, I think in terms of promotion, like, this will be over, but if you're seen to not take this light, or if like a fighter gets sick while at a show, or something like that, or even like the fact that you're knocking people out and then them having to go to the hospital, like, or get brain scan, you're putting an additional resource on the like medical community that they don't really need right now. And even if you say, "Oh, we're not going to bring them to hospitals. We're gonna have our own doctors. We're gonna have like the fighters are going to be able to be treated in the arena." Well, then still you're taking resources away from the hospitals. That like you're taking a doctor that could be helping with the coronavirus, but instead he's like out babysitting your fighters that probably shouldn't. Like at the end of the day, sport is a pastime. It's not that important when it comes to the protection of human life. Now, the UFC said they are taking in like the best measures in order to try to get to safety. So they said they're bringing some. I was reading an article that they're saying they're going to use an infrared technology in order to track body temperature, which we wouldn't know. Not everyone develops the temperature who have the coronavirus. So that necessarily isn't the best practice in terms of what to do. And secondly, I don't know the way I was reading it, because it didn't make very, very clear if they're just going to be using it for the fighters, checking, make sure the fighters don't have a temperature, or if in fact that they're going to be allowing crowds into the arena, but scanning them for spikes in kind of like temperature spikes.
I doubt they'd be letting in a crowd.
No, yeah, exactly. So like they'd have to find a state with very, very relaxed laws when it comes to social distancing in order to put on an event, like an extremely relaxed state. I don't know if there's one in America. I know the severity of conditions that people are put through do change state to state. So like I wouldn't be 100% uncertain that they couldn't find a state in order to put on an event. But I just think what they'll do, the damage they'll do to their brand or to the sport, and in turn their own brand as a result of this, I think it's going to be far worse if they just cancel the event. Okay, they're going to lose like millions of money, but they could then just take old fights and put them on TV, just reschedule, just like give ESPN old fights, like old pay-per-views to put on for the time being, and do what like all the other sports channels is, and until it's safe, don't put on. I know one thing what the Premier League is considering of doing, soccer league over in England, what they're considering doing is getting a hotel for footballers and making them social isolate for 2 weeks before going back training, and then they remain in that hotel. So they're basically go training back to that hotel, play their game, and then go back to a hotel. Their movements are going to be restricted to either the hotel training pitch or playing the match. So they're trying to figure out that as a way of football continuing, because right now I think they said they have until June, and it's in their rules that if the season isn't decided after June, it has to be cancelled, and then basically the rules, unless it's mathematically impossible for a team to be crowned champions, there won't be a champion. But they said they are not going to abide by that rule, so they could go on longer past June. So, but they're looking at the option of like putting footballers into like hotels.
Like that's a bit of an extreme measure as well. Like,
well, in terms of like trying to keep the footballers safe, I could see them doing it because there's millions on the line in terms of Premier League season being finished, and just to even get revenue for to keep clubs operating. So right now, all the footballers are on contracts, as are UFC fighters, and if they sign a contract for a fight, like Tony Ferguson and Khabib would have, and that fight it doesn't go ahead, the fighters had to be paid because they were scheduled to fight, and it was no fault of the fighters for cancelling. However, if they put on the event and the fighter can't make it for whatever reason, then the fighter doesn't get paid. So this might be another reason of how to get out of paying fighters for cancellation of cards, is by scheduling the card and booking a venue, and then seeing it, and then if fighters actually show up, good. But if they cancel because like they can't leave their house or they can't train or whatever the reasons for not showing up, then the UFC mightn't have to do it. So that could be also in the UFC's reasoning of putting on the event, is hope that the fighters cancel so the event is technically going ahead and they don't have to pay the fighters. Like this would be conspiracy theory. This isn't the reason what they're doing, but allegedly or hypothetically this could be a reason for them keeping the events scheduled, is for this reason.
You're going down that Eddie Bravo hole, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to live it in the Eddie Bravo hole.
Like, I don't know why they don't just do, like, Bellator just cancelled their next, like, 2 or 3 events. And we're just like, okay, whatever crew and stuff we're going to be there, we're just going to pay you and reschedule the event.
Yeah, like, I definitely...
like, it's not as if they don't have the money.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about the idea of putting fighters in a hotel, social isolation themselves, and bringing them... Because they have their own gym. They have the UFC Performance Center. So, ideally, if they did, like, isolate the fighters, set up a schedule that the fighters could train in a safe environment and then put on fights, do you think that would work, or do you think you're still putting fighters at risk?
You're still putting them at risk because you're going to have to isolate everybody that's going to be in the gym. Like, you're going to have to isolate the people that are cleaning the gym, the people that work in the gym, the trainers, the fighters' whole team. Then you're going to have, like, everybody's going to be isolated from their family for 2+ weeks. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Like,
yeah, so like, I think overall this is probably going to be really bad for the sport. I know in terms of like pro wrestling, I was talking to a lad that I work with. He's a fan of wrestling, so he was telling me that the viewers for WWE online has went up because basically the only sort of sporting event that's on that's right now. So they're the only one putting out new content, basically. So the viewership for pro wrestling has went up, apparently.
They also made their the WWE Network, their streaming service, is currently free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's obviously why, yeah. I think also the pay-per-view, they mightn't be charging for the pay-per-view.
Is you can get the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view comes in, I think, 24 hours later on the streaming service, like, so you can get it for free. So
yeah, so like they're probably going. Yeah, so I don't even know the idea of, other than obviously there are storylines that may have to be. They might have to just get through their storylines, like they have to deal with WrestleMania and whatever storylines they're going through. So they want to keep that in terms of they obviously have a plan for the rest of the year, and WrestleMania is obviously a big part of that plan. So maybe that's the reason why they're putting on this out. They're like, oh, we're just going to take a hit, and at least then we're still on schedule for our overall year plan.
Yeah.
But I still think they're taking a huge risk with the fighters, the wrestlers, and same with the kind of UFC. Like it's an unnecessary amount of risk for. At the end of the day, it's only a bit of distraction. Like sports are basically only a bit of distraction.
Yeah, like there's. I don't know why they don't just cancel it altogether. Like just, we'll be back when it's fucking okay to do so.
The only thing about it is, like, a lot of these are US sports that are taking this kind of line. Now the NBA is cancelled. It's pretty much only pro wrestling and mixed martial arts, or the UFC anyway, that want to continue on.
Yeah.
But imagine, I kind of addressed this last week, but when your country takes this seriously, when your leader says, "All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to clamp this down. We're going to shut this down, and we're going to make sure we're going to stop the spread of it." Generally, people listen, even if they're not politically minded. They listen. But when you have someone like Donald Trump, who's kind of first of all, he's just slacking off, calling it Asian flu. Second of all, he then denied the amount of respirators that are actually needed or the numbers of people actually getting infected, and he wasn't doing enough in order to clamp down on the amount of, and then he wanted to open up by Easter.
Yeah.
And I think that what's going to happen, since America's lack of kind of clarity of or a quick response to the coronavirus, I think that this is actually going to go on even longer for America. I think Europe has been dealing with this now since I think late February, and numbers in Italy has started to drop off. They've seen the first fall in new cases in Italy. So they're not getting as many new cases of coronavirus patients in Italy. Right now, Spain seems to be in the thick of it right now. So what's happening, they're going to reach their spike soon and then go the way of Italy and China, and numbers are going to start dropping off. But America right now, it's just from what you hear is it just seems to be going out of control, and you just wonder.
It's going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of proper action being taken, or proper attitude even being taken in America in order to self-isolate people from it. I know they've closed down New York. I think they had soldiers on the street, and I think it's certain parts of California it's the same. But I still think there's attitudes around America, from what I see from basically only social media, attitudes from America is quite bad.
Yeah, they're not taking it very seriously at all. Well, I suppose some places are some states have lockdown and stuff, but some states you're still basically free to do whatever you want.
But even for medical supplies, states are bidding with each other for supplies that they need.
Yeah.
So you're not even getting a United States approach. Let's say respirators. Each states are at bidding wars at some point over vital equipment that they need.
Oh yeah.
And if you can outbid a state, then your state's okay. But the state that you just outbid, well, fuck them. And that's not the attitude they have. They have that system, they have that medical system, or have that operation in place where every state's fighting over each other for essential equipment is really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, at least we don't live in America. By the time this all comes back around, everyone in Europe will be immune, hopefully, or at least the majority of people, and America has already cancelled flights, so it'd be grand.
If we can't go there anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. We went a little bit over our normal amount of time. So it's a little bit longer than normal. But I guess we'll be back next week.
Yep.
If you are a new listener, make sure you subscribe to the channel wherever you're watching it, so you get regular updates on our shows. Any weird questions you want to ask us, any things you want us to talk about, send them in to us. shitetalk@gmail.com. All other social medias at Shite Talk Show, and Shite Talk Podcast Show on Instagram as well. You can contact us there. You'll find out means of actually getting to us. Not that hard to get.
And send us in your isolation haircuts.
Oh yeah, isolation haircuts, please.
Yeah. Give us a laugh.
Yeah, and also shout out to Tim on Twitter, who posted to send us a message on Twitter or on Instagram or on YouTube, just to say that he liked the content of the show. So, sound for the feedback, Tim.
He sent us a message on something. That's basically what you just said.
On something.
You're not even keeping track where people are messaging us.
Yeah, well, YouTube. He sent a message on YouTube. So like, shout out to Tim for messaging us there, and glad he enjoys the show. You can do it like
if you cut your own hair, Tim, send us a photo.
Yeah, send us a photo, please, and we'll stick it up on the old Instagram.
Or if your friend if your friend has kind of longish hair and you're like in the same house, you're self-isolating together, cut your friend's hair.
Yeah, exactly, and send us in a photo.
They don't even have to know about it. Just do it.
You just maybe have to know about
it. People sleep.
People sleep. People get drunk. Anyway, until next time.
See you later.
See you later.
Shut up and sit down.